this is a joke. These are props. I'm not here to spill some tea, but I am going to be talking about what it's like to go to Grand Canyon University. So, if you are interested in going to Grand Canyon University, I'm going to be talking about the pros, the cons, and what it's really like to live there, the school, so everything about academics, everything about the social life, everything about the food, what it's like to live there again, and what else am I going to be talking about? Oh, the fact that it's a Christian university and what's the difference between other university. I'm going to talk about the rules there because there are lots of rules. Yeah, so everything you need to know about Grand Canyon University, I'm going to talk about it in this video. So if you're interested in going, you should definitely stay tuned and watch this whole video. Maybe make your own tea. So when it comes to academics, I feel like the main things about Grand Canyon University is online. Grand Canyon University is also known for being a big online school, and not if you do take it on ground, that doesn't mean a lot of your classes are going to be online, but there's been times where it's not offered on ground, or I prefer taking an online teacher than someone that's on ground, especially using Rate My Professor. But online classes are like, if you can, it really depends. If you want to do half online and half on ground, you can do that. I've done that, but I personally prefer on ground. But if you were to take online classes, one of the things that's difference between on ground is they make you do post every week, and I think that is the way for them to like count participation. For me, it's annoying because some professors have other requirements, such as like adding sources for like a simple post that's only like 100 words. They want me to add resources and even list out my reference. I do get they want us to practice, and it's even helpful to use the same reference for the next essay that's coming up. But for me, it just feels like, I just feel like the post is just a little too much. Like, I'm okay with it, but I just don't like it when a lot of professors have so many things they want us to do for a single post. When it's like, yo, don't we have an essay due this week? I'd rather be spending that 1 hour on an essay. Another thing is, I don't know if I mentioned, but all the textbook is also online. So it really depends on your major though. Like I've seen nursing students have like physical copies. So, but if you're taking it online, like if you're taking, I've recorded this so many times. If you have a textbook that's online, it's already paid in your tuition and you really don't have to worry about it. And for me as a psych major, I've had that the past 2 years for my psych classes and for my general classes. All my textbook has been online, but I know for other majors it may be different, and also may depend on your class. So what else? Academic. The professors, I feel like some of them are dry. Let's be honest. Some of them are just like, I'm sitting here and there's just, not saying professors need to be entertainer, but like you just can't click and read off the PowerPoint. That's it. Like, I like going to class. I'm taking it on ground. I need to have some activity to keep my brain going. I need to have different learning styles in the classroom for me to like learn differently. But that's just me. And some professors are just like, that's dry. That's really dry. But those same professors still have been really helpful to me. Like, I've walked up to them and say, hey, I need help on this assignment. They've been helpful to me. Or like, I go to their office hour and I feel like I've gotten way much help going to their office hour or talking to them personally. So if you do end up with a professor where the lecture is not perfect, and like, you know, not every professor is going to be either funny or entertaining. It's just the truth. Just like everyone else in the world is not a comedian. They still are really helpful to me. Like, I feel like as long as I go up to them and tell them when I need help, they have helped me. But I also feel like it really is up to you to make sure like you're a good student. You just obviously can't be like, I haven't been to classes at all, I haven't turned in all the assignments, and then ask for help. So what else I have to say? That's pretty much it when it comes to academics. The next thing I'll be talking about is living on ground. So living on campus, basically. So if you live on campus, there's an option to do double or triple or even apartments. So that's the main thing I've heard. I've heard some random, like, you can have an apartment with a person and share a room and whatnot. I do know there are some, like in the middle of the campus, there's this place where it looks like condos almost, and you have the option to share a room or not. So I know there's something like that, even if it's apartments, but I just been in triples the past 2 years because I'm not about to pay all that money and just add loans just to live in luxury. Like, I'm happy I'm gonna be living in a double next year but that's because of a scholarship I got. So, but triples, I feel like triple is, I don't know. It's just, if that's what you have and that's what you got to do, then do it. But I feel like the only way it can be a good experience is to make sure you have good roommates. I've had horrible roommates in the past where it's honestly harder because either, like, they're not considerate about pitching in and being clean, throwing out the trash, or just following the rules. So it's hard with the roommates. I feel like it's hard with anything, apartments and everything, but especially if you're gonna do triple and you about to have a space with 2 roommates, I don't know, like, you need to have good roommates. Doubles, I'm gonna experience it next year, which I feel like it's gonna be lighter and might even be better, but I also know my roommate already, so it may, for me, I feel like it's gonna be good. But I feel like double, if you can shoot for a double your first year, go for it. Apartments, I know that's for upperclassmen, so your first year you can't do it. But this year I think they changed it, so the next incoming freshmen are gonna be living in apartments, because Grand Canyon University is always like, it's growing, so it's big. And the one thing about it is you'll know that there's always construction going on. Well, the past 2 years I've been there, there's always like construction going on because it's just constantly growing and growing and growing. So yeah. Another thing, if you're gonna be living in apartments, you get your own room. It depends on like what apartment. I've heard that there's one apartment style where you don't get a desk. But the ones that you do get a desk, you have to get your own chair. You do get a closet space and a bed. There's 4 rooms, so you have 3 roommates when it comes to apartments. You get your own sink space near the restroom area and like your own mirror cabinet space. The restroom, the sinks and the mirror is outside, and to take a shower and like use the restroom. The toilet and the shower is together, but the sinks are right outside the... Why can't I even talk? Right outside the restroom. And there's like, there's 2 restrooms. So if you have an apartment, there's 2 restrooms. So you're just going to share it with one person. The kitchen area, I've seen, I don't live in apartments, but I've seen that the counter space is so little. Like, it's so little that you would really need to be minimalistic, or like you'd need to be really good at trying to really organize at trying to cook stuff at the same time, and like dishes and all that stuff is just a hot mess. So I feel like the best thing is having a dining table, so if you need to move and have extra room to cut stuff or whatever you're trying to do. So if you're gonna get an apartment next year, yeah, get a dining table because the counter space is really small. That's what I've noticed. You don't get couches at Grand Canyon University for the apartments. In the dorms you do. but they're so uncomfortable. I feel like they're really trying to like not make sure nothing be going on in the living area. That's why it's so uncomfortable. Like, it's like I can't even. It's just so uncomfortable. Like some of them, the chairs, the couches are made to where you can move them. So let's say me sitting right here is like one couch. So for every person there's in a room, so let's say there's 4 people in there. If it's a double, there's going to be 4 people. So there's going to be 4 chairs. And you can move those chairs the way you want and organize it the way you want in your living area. I've also seen, last year I had like a straight up couch that fit like, how many people? I would say 2 people, 3 people if you really can, and then like 1 chair. So it's like, it was a rough couch. Like the rest arm area, it's not even soft. It's like so hard I couldn't even lean my back on that if I wanted to lay down or whatever. I'm like 5'4", so me laying down the long way, that don't make sense now. But me laying down, it's like, I guess perfect. Is it? I can't remember. It's perfect, but for me to stretch out a little bit, like let's say if I want to like rest my leg on the armchair, like it's just uncomfortable. The armchair is so uncomfortable. If you're not laying your arm and you want to put your foot on there, or you want to lay your back, it's just uncomfortable. It's just no. They do give you a chair. They do give you a small table. It's not like a coffee table. It's more like a stand. In the living area, they give you a sink. This is the dorms, by the way. They give you a sink, and that's it. I think that's it in the living area. And you can organize it the way you want to. Arrange it the way you want to. Yeah, that's the living area. So the rules. Now let's get to this is what really gets people. And you'll find out why. Like for me, I'm okay with the rules. But sometimes I just like, why? Why is it there? And sometimes I'm just like, honestly, it's for my protection and my safety, so I cannot complain. Number 1 is the fact that, number 1 I'm going to talk about is guests. If you have guests over and it's the opposite sex, they can only stay in the living area. In the living area. Not the room. They can't go in your room, even if it's to stand there and like, I don't know what you guys are doing, like having a conversation. Like, no, that needs to be in the living area. And you're gonna be like, how are they gonna know if they're in your living area if the door's closed? Well, another rule. If they are the opposite sex, the door must be open at a 90-degree angle. Other people might be like, that's a little too much. My privacy. But yeah, the door has to be open at a 90-degree angle. The opposite sex cannot be in your room. If they have to use the restroom, they can't go to the restroom in your room. They have to go down the hall and use the restroom in the lobby. It works differently if they're in the apartments though. So if there's an opposite sex in your apartment, the door can be closed, but they cannot be in your room. Which I also don't know how that works, because if the door's closed and y'all hanging out in the room or whatever y'all doing in the room, no one's gonna know. So no one's gonna know. But that's the rule. Another thing is there's a curfew for the opposite sex. So they can't, if they come and visit you, they can't visit you all day and all night. So the curfew is for the dorms on the weekday is at 11 p.m. to 10 a.m. They cannot be any opposite sex in your room. If a girl is visiting me as a female, oh my gosh. That don't make sense. If another female is visiting me, she can hang out in there all she wants till 2 a.m. if she wants to. But a dude, he would have to leave before 11 p.m. Unless it's the weekend, it's till 12 p.m. Because, if that's the dorms. If it's the apartments, they can stay till 12 p.m. all throughout the week. So, yeah. So there's a curfew. And you're probably like, how are they gonna know if people are following the rules? Well, every day, every night, at that time, when it's like past curfew, the RAs are walking every hall and checking past curfew if anyone's in the room. After that, they're not walking all night, of course, but it's usually like right after the curfew, they're walking the halls, and after that, that's it. But if they find anyone in there, if there's other stuff going on, like you're being a little too loud, because right after 10 is quiet hours, so if you're being a little too loud, you'll get a warning. They won't write you up, but if they find somebody else in there, they will write you up. So, yeah. Another thing is, what does writing up mean? So that's like gonna give you a strike. So if you get one strike, nothing really happens. I think it's just in your records. Number 2, you are basically gonna be taking a class, and I'm assuming that's like they're gonna be telling you the rules and why you need to follow them, blah blah blah. I've never taken that. I've only got one strike. One. That wasn't even worth it, honestly. No. Let's not even talk about that. But at the end of the day, you cannot be getting, I think, 3 strikes. I don't know if that works yearly or all 4 years. I didn't want to find out. So once I got my 1 strike, I was like, that's it. That is it. We cannot be joking around. Like, you just can't. Because I personally am one of those people. I follow the rules. And I don't do anything illegal. That's just me. That's part of my personality. So I'm not trying to test things out. No. So I don't know what happens to you once you get past the 3. I think it's past 3. I'm assuming you get kicked out. I'm assuming. And I don't know what happens if you don't have any strikes. I feel like if you're doing something extra, like it's really bad, like you having something in your room, drugs, alcohol, or what's going down in there. I've heard like people in one of the apartments found a way to get a jacuzzi in the room, and they got in trouble. And I actually met that dude, and they all got kicked out of school, I think. So I think it's really depend. If it's really bad, I think you right off the bat are gonna get kicked out. Where if it's like a noise complaint, usually they give you a warning. Yeah, so those are some of the rules. There's more, obviously. Like, there's whole with your car where you can't park. I don't have a car, but I've had a roommate that had a car, and she had a parking ticket because she parked to just drop her groceries, but she parked to drop her groceries, and there's just this whole thing, like, you have to do this, you have to do that. I think you have to, like, leave your emergency lights if you're parked. And what else do you have to do? It's only 15 minutes, so to leave your groceries and come back. So that's a little too much when you have a lot of things going on. Like, if you have a lot of stuff you need to take into your building. But, yeah. There's a lot of rules, I feel like. But usually they'll tell you in the beginning of the year what the rules are like. If you get caught, they'll tell you again what the rules are like. What else? And if anything happens, like move in or move out, there's like new changes of rules or whatever, you always get informed anyway. So if you're thinking of going there, there's just, to some people, they feel like with all the rules, their freedom is restricted. Especially, if, like, there's, I forgot to talk about, like, I think it's called a dry campus, so no drinking, no smoking weed, none of that, no drugs, of course. I don't know how other university works, like, you can't, there's no parties. Obviously, with the noise complaints and everything, there's no parties on campus. So if you thinking, I'm about to go to school, get educated, and get lit, it is possible. You just can't do it on campus. I hear people, like, go to parties off campus. They go to the university nearby, Arizona State University, for the parties. So they go to the parties and they come back on campus. So, yeah. Like, we do live in a neighborhood where it's sketchy. So, like, we have really strong security on campus. And we even have, like, the GCU police. We even have police on campus. That's how sketchy it is. But it's for our safety, and I honestly feel safe on campus, like walking home late at night if I stayed up studying at the library or something. I feel safe. So, yeah, I feel like the rules and everything, it may be annoying, but I'm safe, I'm good, but I do understand what people mean. Like, hey, I'm coming here, I'm a grown adult to get my education. I left my parents. I don't want, the school to be my parent, where what time I can be where, or what I can do and what I can't do. But then again, you are living on campus, so yeah. Besides the role, the food, you guys may be interested in that. Some of the foods they have on campus is Chick-fil-A, pita jungle, which is like a Mediterranean food. I don't think it's that good because I've had Mediterranean food growing up in Saudi Arabia, and it's definitely different. They have They have Panda, they have Auntie Anne's, they have a lot of like little lope shops, they call it, where you can get like convenient food. They have Lean Canteen, where you get like I think it's called Earth Bowl, so rice, chicken, and broccoli or whatever. It's more on the expensive side though. They have Habit, which is like you get burgers and fries mostly, and shakes. They do give salad. They have Fresh Fusion. It's like a salad bar and a wrap bar. They have Slices, which is pizza, and they have like in the middle of the student union, they have a little area where it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, in other universities, I know they have like a cafeteria dining area. We don't have that. We have like different restaurants, and you use your dining dollars to go and swipe. That's what it is, like Chick-fil-A or whatever. We don't have a common dining area. There's a middle spot in the student union. You may consider it like a really, really small dining area where they have different meals every day for you to like pick from. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I think. Or breakfast and lunch, I don't know. So, yeah, that's the food they have. I may miss a few. They have Taco Bell now. They add Taco Bell in the pita jungle this year. I feel like the school is always constantly growing, so the food, they're still adding and adding. I feel, to me, the options are limited to me. As in, like, if I want to eat healthy, I just don't want to just eat salad every day. I feel like there needs to be more options than just salad. You know what I mean? That's the main meal if you choose to be healthy on campus. Whereas if you're not healthy, you got nuggets, you got fries, you got pizza, you got so many other things. And after a while, you get boring of the food there. That's just me. Also, freshman 15 is a thing. I didn't gain 15 pounds. I gained way more than 15 pounds. I'm just being honest. And yeah, but you can still watch yourself. There's gyms. There's gyms on campus. It's like paid with your tuition, so you might as well go. Like, I just started last semester trying to go to the gym. I need to stick to it next semester. But yeah, the gym is free. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 gyms. 4 gyms. Like the freshmen, like where the freshmen live, there's one. There's a big one on campus, and there's one near the apartment area, and there's one where the regular dorms are. There's pools too. You can use the track even though if you don't do track. I personally used the track before. So there's those things you can do on campus. What else? Oh, the activities, the events. I feel like Grand Canyon University we don't have a football team. So if you're into that, I'm not really all about sports, but all I know is some people are crazy about football and they get pissed when we don't have a football team. We have a basketball team, and that is the big sport on campus. It's all about basketball there, and that's that's the big event. Everyone goes to the games. We have like Midnight Madness, is that what it's called? And we just like kind of get lit because the basketball season is coming up, and then so a lot of it's basketball. We have the soccer team and whatever. You can like go to the sports games, but the big sport that people really look forward to is the basketball ones. Other ones people go to is soccer, volleyball. Our school is really big on I think. See, I don't do sports, as you can tell. It's like intramural sports, I think. So the other small ones like hockey, not small one. I don't want to like hurt people's feelings. I don't know how they feel about hockey, but the other small sports like that you may not get into as an athlete and you just enjoy to do that sport, as a hobby, you can do intramural sports. And there's different things, like I think there's tennis. Okay, actually I don't know. There's volleyball for sure, I know. There's ice hockey. Is it ice hockey? I don't know. That's all that comes at the top of my head, but there's a lot I know. So when people get on campus, and they're like, oh, they don't have the sport offer. They're like, go to the intramural one. So there's a lot of clubs. I personally am in the psychology club. I like it. There's like fun clubs if you're there for. There's a gaming club. There's I think there's clubs where it's like culture associated. So like so if you're like Latino, if you're Black, if you're Filipino, like there's like a space for you. If you're Hawaiian, all that. So there's those. Did I talk about parties? Also, if you want to go to parties, you have to get off campus for that. If you're trying to do anything that's not part of the rules, you have to go off campus. But I do know people do some things on campus though, but they just don't get caught. Yeah. I'm not one of those people that's want to try it. So, yeah, but I've heard stories. And I'm not about to say the stories because I do know some of those people, so. What else? That's like social. If you're coming there and you're like, oh, I'm a Christian and it's a Christian school and you're trying to like grow spiritually, they have that too. I know I talked about party and stuff. They have like chapel every Monday. They have worship night on Tuesday. They have life group. I'm going to be a life leader this year. Life group is basically Bible study. So every floor you have a life leader and they do Bible study. What else do they have? They have a lot of like missionary type of things. So in the city, our school is really big about helping the community because we do live in a community where, yeah, some families do need help. So that's why they go out there and they help them, and they have a lot of things. Like there's something called Canyon Kids where like you go hang out with the kids on a Saturday at the park and you guys do activities and crafts. I've never done that, but my roommate have. So there's trips too if you want to travel countries and help out people. Speaking of trips, there's also like summer programs too where you can or like not summer program, what is it called? where you travel travel abroad. So where you travel abroad and like you study in other countries, there's that. Um we do have summer school on campus, but that's just yeah. There's summer school if you're trying to take summer classes, or you can do them online. Um but there's a lot of things our school have to offer. Whether if you're like, okay, I'm going there cuz I want to grow spiritually and educationally, that doesn't make sense. I've been talking too much, so I don't make sense anymore. But if you're like, I'm a Christian, I'm all for that, or if you're not, everyone's invited like to go there. Honestly, I've seen people who are Muslim or who are like Jewish. I've heard people say, I'm atheist. I'm an atheist. I don't even know why I'm in this class. Because there's a requirement to take one class, which is Christian worldview, to graduate. So if you're like, I'm not a Christian, blah, 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 you still have to take that class. It's not like you're going to get a bad grade if you don't like read the Bible or anything like that. It's just they're talking about the Christian worldview. They will dabble on a little bit on different worldviews. I feel like it's easy, but therefore I'm a Christian. I go to church. So going to church the past few years, I already knew all those things that was talked about in class. But I have friends and like other people who aren't Christian who had to take that class and they were fine. They made it through. It's just like any other class. Just pay attention and to the lecture and you'll be fine. Yeah. But then again, I had a really good professor, so what else? Now I'm just telling you random things. I talked about social life, I talked about academics. I talked about the Christian school, the atmosphere. I feel like it really doesn't really matter if you are Christian or not. And like you're not really forced to do the activities that are based on like the Christian belief or whatever. You don't have to go to chapel or whatever, unless you're like me and you're doing one of the student leaderships. It is a requirement to go to chapel. But it's you just have to take Christian worldview, I think, as the only requirement. But everyone's literally invited to that school. Like you don't have to have a certain belief. So don't be like, oh, it's a Christian school. If you like the atmosphere, a lot of people I've heard say, I like how people are here. They're so nice. And like literally everyone opened doors for you. That's how our school is. Like everyone opened doors for you. They're so nice. If you fall off your long board or your penny board or whatever board you have, like people like go see if you need help. It's just very like safe. Like the security is safe. The people there are nice. I've met a lot of amazing people, Christian friends and non-Christian friends, and like it's pretty fun. Like even if you don't go to parties like me, I have a good time and went on like adventures and trips with my friends and do other things. So you don't have to stress if you're like, I'm not this type of person or whatever. You'll find like your group of people and your friend. The campus is big enough to find people just like you. So don't worry about that. I honestly think it's a good school. But I've always seen it as a school I really wanted to go, like the last few years of high school. So, and when I got there, at first I was like, I like it, but I couldn't find my group yet my first semester. So, and it was just a mess first year. But at the end of the day, like if you take the time, get yourself out there, get involved in the events, go to the basketball game, go do other things, and like you'll honestly like it, and try things, like even if you've never done it before. Like I don't know, if you are not a Christian but like you're curious about what it is like being a Christian, like go to the events, like worship night or whatever, the Bible study, just try it out. It's all in college. Honestly, there's so many experiences you could have. You just have to go try it. Like if you need help, you just gotta go ask help. When it comes to professor or tutoring, you just gotta go seek for help or finding people. Like you just can't be sitting in your room. If you have any questions, use the comments. I will answer back because I feel like I definitely may have missed a few things. If you go to Grand Canyon University, leave a comment down below of your experience. Other than that, like, if this video was helpful to you in any way, click the I can't talk anymore. Click the like button, and what else? Oh, don't forget to subscribe. I do make college content videos, so if you're going to be a college student or you're already in college, you might as well subscribe to me because, you know, sometime it may be informational like this and sometime it may be entertaining. You never know. Just click the subscribe button. And what? Oh, and have a great day.